I think car tires might be one of the most important things out there that on average most people don't give any consideration to. You know, if the mechanic comes and tells us that the tires are almost worn out, and we go, oh, okay, what do you recommend? And that's great. I'm sure most mechanics definitely know more than enough about tires, and they've got their own favorite brands, or maybe what brings in the best profit margin. There's a lot of different variables. And then people just go, okay, great. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but if I'm going to be throwing out about $1,000, maybe a little more, a little less, and this is what is keeping me safe on the road, where I drive a ton, both for work and recently for fun, I figured it was worth the time and effort to do that research and see what really seemed like the best option when you strip away any of those other variables that might be getting in the way from other people's recommendations. So I dug in and researched just about every tire that could possibly fit on my car, and after quite a while narrowed it down to 2 tires, the Michelin Cross Climate 2s and the Continental True Contact Tour. At first I was super hyped on the Michelins. They seemed so cool. The design, the tech, everything that went into it just seemed like you really were able to have amazing performance in every possible scenario. They were blowing other tires out of the water with certain things like wet road, distance for stopping, all that. But I started digging in more and reading more reviews, and it seemed like they were only perfect when everything else was perfect. As soon as anything kind of threw them a curveball, so to speak, maybe ever so slightly out of alignment, maybe a couple PSI low or whatever, some people even saying as much as just driving over some rockier, gravelly conditions, seem to then have negative effects way worse than average tires, where we're talking about severe loss of gas mileage. They were saying that they were super loud in some cases. They were shaking the steering wheel violently in some cases. So just real extreme stuff. So me knowing me, I take care of my car, but I definitely don't coddle it. I have to go off-road to gravelly type conditions and whatnot, even just for parking at wedding venues in some cases. Never mind the trip I went on recently that put me way more into that category of rougher stuff. So ultimately saved a few bucks, didn't get the flashiness and the coolness, or in my own mind, of the Michelins. I went with the Continentals, and now I am 8,807.6 miles in on these tires, and I've had no bad things to say at all. I drove cross country and back, and drove through mountain roads, up and down, wet roads, in the middle of downpour roads, hot temperatures, cold temperatures, just about everything other than snow, and they perform great. I even purposely aimed for some of those puddles just to test them. That was an issue with my old tires that came on the CRV, the Hankooks. They always felt a little hydroplaney, even from like the very first rainstorm that I ever went through on them. So I didn't know if that was a difference in how the car handled or whatnot, but it seems like it was the tires, and these tires seem to have fixed it. Right away the gas mileage was going way up, or efficiency. My old tires were at around 34 miles per gallon, which is still nothing to complain about, but the new tires started just shooting straight up on the little thing here. Got up above 36, I believe, closer to even 37 miles per gallon, while I was still in states on my trip that were flatter. When I started getting into the mountains and the elevation and all that, the numbers started nosediving, on top of the fact that I was idling at rest stops and gas stations or whatever, looking on things on the computer or phone, or talking to people, whatever it is. And that idling, of course, is just burning gas, and I'm going nowhere. So it's falsely kind of impacting that information. But I have no doubt that, or no reason to consider that things would not have continued to be at that high mileage point if I had stayed on flat areas, like Florida or Georgia or whatever. So yeah, that's it right now. All good things to say. Like I said, it did save me some money too, compared to the Michelins, which was nice. And I'm hoping that I go back to Colorado in a few months. Maybe I will get to encounter some snow there, and if I do, I'll definitely try to find a safe place to test it and kind of go at it and see how the car reacts. If not, at least from a Floridian standpoint, they're excellent. Like I said, driving through downpours, wet roads that were downhill, all manner of stuff, and they never gave me a reason to be afraid once. Only time that I could get them to not hook up like they should was when I was on a very steep slope and it was all gravel, and it couldn't get the traction on the gravel enough to move me up. But that was an area that was not designated as a tourist stop area, and clearly for a reason, because I doubt that I'm the only one with that issue. So it wasn't even an area designed for cars to be at, so it's not a fair thing to say, but that was the only time where the wheels were spinning and they didn't seem like they were going to hook up anytime soon. So basically, unless you live on a 45-degree angle with gravel, these tires should do you just fine. So yeah, hope that helps you out there. If it did help you out, please do like and maybe even subscribe. I know it's kind of a weird hodgepodge review channel, but you know, you never know. Maybe you'll find something out about shoes or whatever. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.